Today's guest is Paddy Saunders, the host of the North Star podcast. Paddy is passionate about helping men live with greater purpose, integrity, and self-awareness. Through conversations that blend psychology, philosophy, spirituality, and health, he explores what is really the meaning of becoming a person you're capable of being. Rather than chasing quick fixes or endless optimization, Paddy believes genuine growth begins with healing, taking responsibility, and building a life that's grounded in meaning. In this conversation, we explore masculinity, community, mental health, courage, and the responsibility we all have to create a better future, not just for ourselves, but for the people around us, for our entire community. Please enjoy my conversation with Paddy Saunders. It's going to be a good one. Thank you for having me, Paddy.
You're welcome. Should we, I like to start with a breath work.
Oh, I love
Can we just do a
that.
little bit of breath to connect? Yeah, cool. Okay. I like to close my eyes. I like to om. Do you om?
I do.
Okay.
I think it's important.
Thank you.
Thank you. That'll definitely put you in the right headspace to start.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It is beautiful.
Connect and resonance and yeah.
No, that is beautiful. Thank you for that. I think that it's really great to get in sync with someone, especially when you're having these kinds of conversations. I think you can definitely get a lot more out of them.
100%. And I think in many respects, if you're in a relationship before you have a difficult conversation, I think before intimacy is so incredible to just go, hey, like let's let everything else go and just come together in this beautiful resonance.
That's beautiful. Well, where did you learn that? Or what kind of influences connect you to this kind of knowledge here?
Yeah, so I got introduced to breath work like about 11 years ago, which is like quite some time. Breathwork sort of, I know it's been around for thousands of years, but in my circles, like that was sort of at the forefront. And I found it just amazing to be in a space of presence with my own body.
Yeah.
And then clarity from a busy mind of the way that we live.
Yeah.
And then I had my marriage was really hard for sort of the last 4 years, and so we didn't have much connection, but we both tried in our own way.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, like they say, if you scream, it's because a whisper can't be heard.
Yes, I have heard that.
Yeah, so we were both trying to connect in our own ways, but our dysregulated nervous systems, that communication came out vastly differently.
Yeah.
So I had a friend, kind of a relationship. It wasn't a relationship, but it was a very sincere and intimate friendship. And we would do a lot of breath work together. And I just found it to be so beautiful, whether it's prior to intimacy or just co-regulating.
Yeah.
I love doing it myself. I do it with my children, but doing it with someone else, you get the regulation of yourself, and then you get to feel their energy as they drop into regulation.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then that helps you regulate on a deeper level. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we had a difficult conversation. You could call it a fight one day. And because it had been so practiced for us, I suggested that we drop into some breath work, and we did. And it was the first time in my life that I was able to meet the intensity of waves of what I previously would have reacted to or defended myself or interrupted or tried to fix. It's the first time that I was able to just hold full presence for a woman and to allow her to just express herself, and then at the end just that, and I was like, oh my God, this is like to be in a really healthy masculine presence. This is what you can offer the sacred feminine. She doesn't need you to do all these things, all these mistakes that I'd made previously. Best of intentions, as I think a lot of men do.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the skill set, if you don't have the reference point, I'd never learnt it, I'd never seen it before. So it became possible for me once I'd experienced it. Have you heard of Roger Bannister?
No.
Can I continue with
please,
this?
I want to
Roger
hear about it.
Bannister, so he was the first man to run the 4-minute mile.
Right, okay.
Have you heard this story?
Yes.
So he
Love
was that
story.
man. So like, obviously they thought it was impossible. No one can crack 4 minutes for a mile. He's the first one to do it. And then that year, 3 more did. And then over the years, like 50 people did the next year. And it's like that mindset of once something's possible, all of a sudden it becomes like almost easy. It becomes in our field of awareness, and so then it just becomes a practice. And now with my children, I don't know if there is a more important skill than nervous system regulation. It helps your relationship with yourself, it helps your thoughts, it helps your calmness, it helps every relationship you have, it helps your work, it helps like optimization, it helps you sleep. What?
Why are we doing this?
What?
Why are we doing this more?
Let's learn this. Let's all practice this in every scenario.
Yes.
Let's be that blessing to one another.
I really like what you said, Paddy, when you were talking about how that was the first time you felt yourself show up like in your masculine energy, like, or as a man, something you were saying about that, which is incredibly powerful, because for you to be able to be where you're naturally supposed to be, but you never kind of found, has that kind of shaped your work? Is that where this idea of supporting men in men's groups has come from?
So I actually ran men's groups prior to that awareness.
Wow.
You know, I think like my life has been an evolvement of awareness. I think that's all of us.
Yeah.
I like the quote from Mark Twain. He says, "The man that thinks the same at 40 as he did at 20 has just wasted 20 years of his life." Like, we're supposed to grow, we're supposed to evolve, and with that comes like the shedding of skins of our prior selves. And I think my idea of masculinity has evolved over that time. And then looking back, like I remember my initiation into manhood in Australia. It's like you turn 18, go to the pub and drink beer. What? Can I swear?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck could possibly be more damaging as an initiation into manhood? It's not masculinity. Masculinity is not bravado or beating your chest or dominance. Like, and we see that portrayed and we wonder why there's so much disconnection and division between men and women. Like, I don't think many men have really walked an initiation and really understand what the purity of masculinity is. I look at, do you know Marcus Aurelius?
One of my favorite authors.
Isn't he? Absolutely amazing. And
Incredible.
There's one particular line in Meditations where he says, to care for all human beings is part of being human. And for me, that sums up masculinity. It's care. It's care for other people.
Yeah.
It's being responsible for those, especially those less that are more vulnerable, especially for women and children, not just the ones that you're related to, all of them. Like, that is peak masculinity. That's a man.
I agree.
It'd be awkward if you're like, no, it's not, mate.
Actually,
no.
no.
He goes to the pub and he gets hammered.
No, I think
Do a
that's
short podcast.
That's beautiful. Yeah, it would be a really short one, but I think we relate pretty well on these topics. Great. I love that you brought Marcus Aurelius into it. That's powerful. So what does that mean for What has that meant for you in your journey in the last couple of years, especially? Because since you're always evolving, how is the start of your journey compared to where you are now?
It's a great question. I was largely very unconscious. I lived a lot of my life based on external validation, especially from my father. I was completely unconscious. I was completely oblivious to it. I didn't know that I was running that pattern, but I was. When I became consciously aware, it was after a plant medicine ceremony. And it's like, you can walk through that threshold of a doorway and you can never unsee the truth that was behind the veil. And when that veil was removed and I saw that my life was being dictated, Carl Jung, he says, until the unconscious becomes conscious, it'll direct your life and you'll call it fate. That's exactly what my story was, and I wasn't aware. So I'm living this life trying to be a good little boy, a good son, to make my father proud, because I adore my father. I love him. I look up to him in every way. Without knowing it, he was peak masculinity for me, and he's a wonderful man. Yeah. He's different to me, and he comes from a different, era. He was very much a product of his baby boomer generation, and a man that doesn't show much emotion and isn't vulnerable. And so in that emotional sort of intelligence and embodiment, quite closed off, but a wonderful man that took care of his responsibilities. So as a little boy, I'm looking up to him like he's everything. So very much I was looking for external validation, and I was lost in that. I wasn't coming from within. I never created the safety from within to really back myself, to understand, to trust myself. And so that's a hard life. It's a really hard life when you're not coming and listening to your truth and listening to your soul. It's an exhausting life because you never find what you're looking for out there. That was so much of my journey.
That's big, and it's a familiar story as well. Especially these recent generations, or generations around our age. I hear this story a lot. And when it comes up, I'm thinking of, where do you think it comes from, where the boomer generation is very closed off? They're not really looking for validation or anything. They just do their responsibilities. They be a man, do what they have to do. So where do you think this idea from the children of these fathers comes, where they're seeking validation or external acceptance so much? Why?
It's a great question. I've got a very specific answer.
Get the books out.
Yeah, I used to be there. Sapiens, a brief history of mankind.
Yep.
So in it he talks about, how our brains work as we normalize everything. You can live in extreme situations and it becomes normal to you. You can live a really extreme childhood and that's all you know, and so that's normal, right? So what we have, you go back like 5 generations and you have World War I, and you have a generation of men who are sold adventure and for Queen and country, to go and fight young men who speak another language that personally they have nothing against. I had family on either side of the war, Italy with Mussolini, and then RAF with the British bombers. And movies romanticise war. Well, there's nothing romantic about it. One of my best mates, he was deployed in Afghanistan and Iraq. He was a sniper in the army, did like 15 years in the army. Beautiful man, masculine man. And he's got a 6-month-old daughter. And he's doing all of this healing so that he doesn't pass it on to her. Like, that's masculinity.
Taking responsibility.
He's amazing. Yeah. And he said that when he returned, the first person in their battalion sort of put their hand up and went, hey, I'm really struggling. I'm struggling to be in crowds. I feel anxious all the time. I'm not calm. I'm reacting. And every other person said me too. It's like the power of vulnerability, right? But also the damage of war. Now, that generation in World War I came home. They, like trench warfare, wave after wave, just getting slaughtered by machine gun. So a huge number of them perished. Then those that survive come home. They call it shell shock. They don't know what PTSD is. There's no understanding. There's no counselling. There's no psychology or support for them. And so what do they sort of use as coping mechanisms, which humans do when they cope? Alcohol in huge quantities. And unfortunately, leading to a lot of domestic violence as well. Then you got that generation going into the Depression, the Great Depression. You think about how the fear of like an economic downturn, and so many of them without work, and I think especially for men, particularly of those generations, this idea of like your value comes in to be able to provide financially for your family. Now that generation of men raise another generation of men, their sons, who then go and fight World War II. Have the exact same experiences and then come home and they raise the baby boomers. Like how much capacity is there to be able to show your son how to feel, how to sit with your emotions, how to process them, how to heal? There's none. There's no ability for men to transfer what men need to learn in order to understand themselves, to regulate themselves. So you have these generations of trauma progressing through generation after generation. And I think what I see is within our generation, a lot of men doing the work. And I'm so inspired when I see one because I know how fucking hard it is. It's so uncomfortable for a man to show vulnerability, to put your hand up and say, how I'm really struggling with this, is so hard. Yeah, it's so hard. Brene Brown talks about the greatest fear of men and women are different. All of her early work was on women. And she tells a great story about there was a man that came to see her speak. And afterwards he had 3 books. He said, can you sign this for my wife and my 2 daughters? And he said to her, it's convenient that you only talk about women, isn't it? And she said, she made a comment and he said, well, he said, because men feel shame, men feel, you know, her work's amazing. Men feel shame too, but you don't cover that. He says, my wife and my daughters would rather see me die on my horse than fall down. Like he's saying, I don't know how to talk about this. I don't know how to go to someone and go, how I'm struggling, I'm doing it tough. I think men have grown up with this idea of like, you know, have a shot of concrete, harden up, you'll be right. Like
rub some dirt.
Yeah, and if that's working, why have we got 6 men a day killing themselves in this country?
It's bad.
What like, it's not fucking working.
No.
So I think like that's my opinion about why it is where it is. But I think, I think we've got an opportunity. I think we've got an opportunity to speak, and conversations allow someone else to go, hey, me too, you know. And I think courageous men finding their voice. I think men thrive with masculine leadership.
Yeah.
So vulnerability, I think, is one of the most powerful, most incredible acts of courage and love for a fellow brother, because it paves the way for them to go next.
I think you're right. How much easier do you think it is for a man to come for support to another man versus his family and kids, or a woman, a partner or something?
Yeah, I think men need men.
Do you think it takes away some of the shame to go and confide in another man, or do you feel like it could be more daunting?
I think when a man can lead and go first, then it paves the way for a man to go next. Brene Brown, sorry, I forgot to finish that story.
Yeah.
She says, so a woman's greatest fear, all women have felt physically uncomfortable or physically threatened in one form, or sexually harassed or some form of this by men, right? So it's a very real physical threat.
Yeah.
She says men's greatest fear is to be perceived as weak by their peers. And so again, how much room does that leave for truth, for vulnerability, for actual, like, for intimacy, for masculine intimacy, to go, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling. We were brought up and raised on this, like, this macho bullshit that this was the pinnacle of masculinity.
Yeah.
And I think, like many men don't know how to be men.
No. Yeah, I hear you. I think you're right. And it's a sad reality, because what do you think happens to people if they don't get the chance to be vulnerable in their life? Or what do you think happens to the people in our generation now, even like the boomer generation, the generation before? That's obviously another story, but what does it really look like, do you think, for men today if they don't open up or find a resolution here?
Yeah. I think it very commonly results in some form of coping.
Yeah. Yep.
I think alcohol, drugs, gambling's a big one for men.
Yeah.
You know, porn.
Yeah.
So I think all of those are indicators of mental health challenges.
Yeah.
Obviously, the suicide rate is 400% of women. And I think, like, for each man that is killing himself, how many more are suffering in silence?
100%. There's so many. There's so many people who it's even hard to find friends or connections in the first place, let alone connections you'd feel safe enough to open up and be vulnerable about some of your struggles. And
I was speaking to a lady at the gym the other day. She listened to one of my podcast episodes, and she was talking about mental health, and she said, like, good on you for raising the topic and talking about it.
yeah,
She said, I come from a small country town, and my dad says that he doesn't believe in mental health, but he drinks a carton of beer every night.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this has just been so accepted within the confines of society. Healing is so terrifying for people. They'll go their whole life coping in some form of, like, spiral of survival. How disconnected can you be with your family, with your partner or your children, if, like, that's the habit that you're embodying, that disconnection? And I just think that's trauma response, right? That's a way of coping. But healing is hard, but a life like that is harder. It's like, choose your hard. I think, like, courage is such a beautiful quality.
Yeah.
When I was young, most of my life, my dad would read me an awesome book of myths and legends, and I used to love, like, Achilles and Hector, you know, these warriors, right? And watch Braveheart or Gladiator or The Last Samurai, like, you know, 300, just love, like, these incredible men protecting their homeland or their people or their families. And courage. And so I'd look at them and go, oh, like, they don't fear anything. And I was always afraid of things.
Yeah.
You know, like, which now I think, like, that's part of being human.
Yeah, I think we all are.
And courage is, like, feeling afraid and doing it anyway.
It's one of my favorite.
Oh my
favorite
God.
lines.
And when you, like, embody that, and you know how hard that is, and you can't replicate that feeling within yourself. I don't even know what the word is. It's not pride. I don't know what it is. It's so amazing.
Well, I think it's Carl Jung, right? You probably have heard this for sure. But what you're looking for, what you really want, is on the other side of what you fear.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know where to start, fear is the first, like what is it? It says if you don't know where to look where you're scared, because that's probably where you need to start.
Absolutely. Rumi says it really well as well.
Yeah.
He says, is it Rumi?
I never
I don't
knew.
know.
I call him Rumi.
Yeah,
Let's
do you?
call him
Okay,
Rumi.
oh, he's
We don't
Rumi
know.
tonight.
He's Rumi tonight.
He says, the cave you're most afraid to look in contains the greatest treasure of all.
Exactly, and this is Jordan Peterson as well. Says the treasure worth guarding by the dragon is the treasure worth collecting. You know, like you have to face the dragon.
Yes.
So all these metaphors, all these stories, they're all really, really vitally important, and they were important in teaching me about facing fears and with courage, like you're saying. Courage is important. Facing your fears with courage is an incredibly powerful start. But let's talk serious, Paddy. Let's talk to the crux of it. People can listen to this podcast and they can maybe agree with us, and maybe they could hear tons of authors, tons of stories. Like for us, I know it took a lot of reading, a lot of stories, a lot of inspiration, education before we could really take on some of this stuff for ourselves. For someone sitting at home listening who hasn't even taken the first step, who might not even have one good friend to go to or a family member, what would you say in terms of like at least your story? Where did you even start? How did you even get the courage to start working with men, or to even recognize the solution was in getting together with the brotherhood?
Yeah, it's a great question. Let me just think for a second. Yeah, I think what comes up is that we'll often do more for someone that we love than we will for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Tony Robbins quote, and it really resonates with me.
Yes.
And I think like often when we think about ourselves, we can get stuck in a paralysis. And I think when we can think about, well, if I'm feeling this way, or I'm feeling alone, or I don't know where to go, there's going to be others who are feeling the same. This is the reality, right? Like we're all human beings doing our best. First time on here that we can remember. And, so if you're feeling that way, others are too. And I think so going first so often opens doorways to reveal blessings that you can't possibly know. Yeah. And sometimes thinking of like another person that you might know, whether it's a work colleague, or I also think, and asking them, even if like you never know what's going to be on the other side of a question, of asking them if they want to catch up or have a coffee or talk about it. And like I've found people to be remarkably kind.
I do agree.
Especially in real life.
That's the second man on this podcast that has mentioned that. And that is so beautiful to hear, Paddy. That men are going out, exploring, traveling the world, meeting people, joining groups, creating groups, and coming back saying, surprisingly, people are kind.
Yeah.
They're kinder than you'd expect.
Yeah. And especially when you have the courage to the other thing about courage is other people appreciate it. They recognize it. Yeah.
Guys, other people appreciate your courage. Absolutely.
Right. So you get that feeling within yourself, but other people know what it takes, because guess what? They're shit scared too. Like we're all doing the best we can in a pretty crazy society.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, it's pretty wild,
crazy.
you know. I think so often just to ask a question can open a door that you never know the blessing that's through there.
Can I actually tell you my experience with that?
Please.
It's coming up and I'm thinking about it, but even just, I used to really like to compliment people, but I was scared. I was like, it comes from my heart, but I was scared people think it wasn't genuine, or if I go talk to a stranger, that'll be a little weird. And then I just decided one day, I was like, you know what? A compliment paid, is true whether they accept it or not. So it's like, I'm not going to hold back anymore. And one of the things I told myself, you have to like be courageous and do it because you agree with it. Do it because you want to. Do it because at the end of the day, there's no way that they won't smile, or there's no way they're not going to enjoy a compliment. So
100%.
you holding it back only holds it back from them, you making their day possibly. And if they hate it, 100%. Fine. But if there's a chance you can make someone's whole day just by connecting with someone on the bus or at school or when you walk past them on the street. I wanted that connection so bad from a young age. So I would hype myself up and be like, just say it. Just say it. Don't think, just say.
Yes.
And the amount of people who would come and talk after and say, no one said hi to me before on the bus or in the elevator, or no one's, thank you so much. And you see them smiling. ear to ear all the way on the rest of their
lit
walk,
up.
makes their day. And then you just get motivated, and you're right. Being courageous, it's important. Taking the first step's important. Applied that same information with making friends. I'm like, I really wish someone would come up to me. Like, I'm here at this park, or I'm at this mall alone.
Yes.
At this movie theater alone. I'd really like for someone to come and be my friend. I want friends.
Yes.
But then realizing, okay, well, I have to be courageous. I have to be the person I'm looking for. And then I recognize, like, you have to kind of lead at some points. If you're not seeing it, you kind of have to lead.
Yes,
but that's
absolutely.
Scary.
Well, I think it's scary at first.
Thank you, Paddy.
And then the second time is infinitely easier than the second. And the 100th time is a piece of piss.
Yes,
you're in flow.
You're
right. For whatever reason, my grandfather, beautiful man that I really looked up to, he would say, he's come from a small country town.
Yeah.
So small country towns, everyone knows each other. So
Yeah.
everyone says hello to everyone. You drive and they just lift the finger, the one finger wave, right?
I love it.
And so I'm looking at him for, part of my identity of masculinity. And I just picked up this, saying hello to everyone and giving out compliments.
Yes.
And I find it I don't think. When I think, I can overthink, and then I can feel a bit anxious. But it's like, see, woman, when you came in, and I was like, you look so beautiful, right? It's like, think and just do.
Yeah.
And I found when Tegan and I separated a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden I'm single man and, going out, and I found at times I could be I could feel a little bit anxious for whatever was going on. At times I'm fine, I'm a pretty confident man. But what I'd find I do, which works so well, is I just offer compliments.
Yeah.
And seeing them light up and their energy just naturally put me in the best mood. And if I felt really uncomfortable, I'd start with men. I'd be like, I love your jacket, mate. And no men get compliments. None.
No.
Very few women, compliments just aren't really done. And when you see them light up, then you get that transfer of energy and enthusiasm. And it's like, you do 5 of those and you're good to go. You can approach anyone there and you're feeling amazing. So I had a friend, a buddy of mine, he separated from his partner, and he's just down in the dumps, and he's put on some weight, and he's feeling like shit, and he went to a music festival. He's like, I don't even know if I want to go. I'm just feeling so uncomfortable. I said, go and compliment 10 people in the first hour, right?
Yep.
And he messaged me and he's talking he's like, oh man, it works! It works! And they loved it, and they loved it, and this lady, and these chicks, and I'm like, it's so fucking beautiful.
I think we cracked the code.
I had this man, I was down at, because I give him out and I love it. I genuinely, it's so good, right?
It's soul fulfilling.
It is.
It is. It fills your cup.
It is. So I'm at the markets down here the other week, and I'm just wearing a singlet and a sleeveless vest, and I'm just walking. I think I'm carrying a thing after the kids. And this guy come up to me, he goes, your arms are amazing. Your shoulders are incredible.
Yeah.
You look at me and I'm like, motherfucker, is this what it's like? This is the best shit ever.
It's so positive.
Being complimented is amazing.
It is. Wow.
It's amazing.
I love that story, Paddy. We need to tell everyone. I think that's the secret.
Yeah.
Everyone start complimenting each other.
Yeah, well, kindness, right? I
Kindness.
believe in the power of kindness.
I agree.
I believe in the power of people.
Yes. And I believe in leading by example. And I believe in, highlighting people's strengths. And even if it is just a compliment, if it's genuine.
Yes.
I believe that's the first, sometimes for some people, that's the first spotlight they've had on them, in a positive spotlight, in a while or maybe ever.
I totally agree with you. I really agree. And I really agree with what you said about genuine.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, to show up within your own integrity. And usually there's something that you can find in someone. I love your socks. Look how cool your fucking socks are.
They're Canadian.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet they
cool.
keep those toes nice and
they
warm
do.
then.
This Australian winter, I'm surviving.
Yeah.
But genuine, it's important. People feel it. That's the thing.
They do.
When we're playing this game of energy transfer, filling our own cups and filling others, it's that mutual exchange. If it's not genuine, it doesn't have the same impact.
No way. Yeah. And it's just a quick scan. And I just find then that becomes habitual.
Yeah.
If you seeing someone light up because of a piece of kindness that you've done is such a blessing.
Yeah. It's a natural high.
It really is.
It's the high without the drugs.
Yeah, it really
That
is.
Seal was talking about, I bet.
Who?
Seal. You know, Kissed by a Rose?
Yeah.
Seal. You know? I forget what quote I just said.
Ah, cool. Okay.
I was being funny, but it didn't land. It's okay, forget it. The high without the pill. Anyways.
Yes.
Irrelevant. But no, it's true. I think we're looking, like you were saying before, it's really important. These coping mechanisms like alcohol and porn and drugs, they've been handed to us. But how often are we handed the real highs in life, like true connection and bonding and reciprocal relationships or helping other people, service to others? Where do we get this in our community? Being a man of the community and starting some groups and reaching out, leading by example yourself. If you're not in your kind of position, for a lot of men out in, let's just say the Gold Coast area even, how do we find these opportunities?
So two things come to mind. One of them is like try different stuff.
Yes.
Try new things.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest blessings that I had in traveling, like traveling around the world, was getting a feel of different cultures and different people and what resonates and what doesn't. Both of them teach me about me, right? And I think so why I say that is because when I moved here, and there's a huge, particularly Brazilian, but South American culture, and I see them everywhere, and they're always in groups. And there's always music and laughter and dance and food and community. And I just go, it's so pure, it's so beautiful. I just love everything about it, right? And so it's like, well, what do? They do Latin dancing. I'm like, cool, I'm going to try Latin dancing, right? And, give it a go. And, it's fun. Yeah. And I think, try new things. There's activities and groups, people, because I think as we have progressed with this more internet-driven society, especially post-COVID, people are craving genuine connection.
Yes.
And so there are groups everywhere to find. Social media, I love, they do silent discos and shit.
Yeah.
I love down here the Cool to Be Conscious. People are breathing, they're ice bathing, they're doing some yoga, and it's all people that are interested in, like-mindedness and conscious living.
Yeah.
And so it's find things and try them. And I think it's so valuable to go on your own.
Yeah.
It's so valuable. When I was a younger man, I would want to do, you want to come with me? Come and be my friend, because I feel anxious and you can help me. And then when I go with you, guess what? I only talk to you.
Yeah.
I already know you. You're great, but I want to make friends, right? And so I think going on your own, heaps of people, single people, come on their own to these events.
Terrifying, but that's a secret, Paddy. I think that is a secret. That is something I discovered on my journey as well. I had to start going alone.
Yeah.
Why do you think we come to that conclusion? How did we come to that? Because I knew there was something about me holding on to other people or waiting for other people or trying to convince or persuade other people to do what I wanted to do instead of leading my own life.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a trait that you'd probably focus on with men's groups as well in masculine health.
Yes.
Where does this come from where we're so attached? And then based on that, touch again on how important it is to go out alone.
So can you just so I understand the question fully, where does it come from that we want to attach to someone else? Is that correct?
How do we lead our own lives?
Yeah.
And why aren't we already?
So it's so beautiful. It's such a tapestry and a loop. I don't think it's possible to lead our own life without embodying courage. I don't.
Yeah, you're right.
I think without that, and that's so feeling uncomfortable, getting outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just in survival. You lead a very small life, and pardon me, but fuck that. Fuck that. Life is so incredible. There's so many amazing people and things that you can do and ways to understand yourself more. Yeah. And you only fully understand whether something resonates by giving it a go. So my advice, try everything possible.
Yes.
If you don't like it, dismiss it immediately, but you'll find things that just light you up and make you feel amazing. You might not know what they are.
Yeah.
I remember before I traveled, like I thought that I'd like certain cultures or certain types of people that I didn't.
Yeah.
And then there were others that I'm like, I don't know why. Cambodia, I love the people there. East Africa, I'm like, you are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Latin America, just remarkable.
Yes.
Right? So, like, I think we can have, it's so easy to be in our monkey mind to overthink, and I think it's the dullest part of us.
Yeah.
I think it stops us from doing so many things, and when we can bypass that and sit and embody anything, whether it's through breath work or meditation or community or training, like anything that we can be in our bodies with, we have access to the most incredible parts of ourselves. And that, like, I think that naturally lends itself to wanting to share that with others.
Yeah.
It's like, I've heard the expression before, like, when anything wonderful happens in your life, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to share it with people that you love, that really celebrate with you.
Yes.
We're made for connection. We're built for connection. Marcus Aurelius says it's like, we're like hands and feet. It's so good.
I like that. I don't know that one. Tell me about that.
Oh,
Or like hands and feet.
That's about all I know from the quote, but it's like, you know, I think he's referring to, like, this, we think about there's division now, but there was always division. There's always been us and them. There's class systems and men and women and
Fear.
And like we're meant to be together. I think about it in terms of like, we were talking earlier about masculine and feminine. No, it was a conversation I had earlier today, perhaps, about how like we're different, and those differences are so complementary.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want a great business, you don't have the same person employed 20 times. You have people with complementary skills. Like,
Right.
I think life is so remarkable, meeting people with different stories and different things that I can learn from. And, you know, life is just one great adventure of finding ourselves and reinventing ourselves, I believe.
That is beautiful. When we're in tribes, we share responsibility, we share the load. We all have different skills, we bring different things to the table. So when we're all divided like this, we assume we have to do everything on our own. But when we have a really strong community, you really start to understand what parts are irrelevant, because so-and-so can, you know, really enjoys, I don't know what it is. Like maybe someone really enjoys cleaning. One of your roommates loves cleaning. It's their mental health day is to just clean.
Yeah.
And so, wow, you don't have to clean as much, great, but you can cook really well, so you bring cooking to the community. And then some people really like to make woven baskets, so now you've got baskets for things. Like, everybody really just does contribute, and you really start to recognize how much less important it is to do it all, or to have all the skills, or have all the answers, or have everything, all the money. It's not really about that at the end of the day. It's having it all, or being able to hold it all, or do it all. So what have you learned about community and how that's kind of helped you facilitate and spread the word about helping people become healthier?
I think one of the greatest joys that I experience in my life is genuinely showing up for someone else. When I've been the most selfish in my life, I've been the most sad. When I was, you know, really depressed, I was thinking about myself a lot.
Yeah.
I was really in my head about how life wasn't the way that I wanted it to be, or I thought it should be, or I felt like I was making all this effort and life wasn't returning the way that I needed it to be in order to feel okay.
Yes.
And when I think of other people, like, it lights me up. I love it. I think sort of jumping, but it's so relevant, is like, if you're feeling lonely and you're feeling worthless and you're feeling like you don't have a purpose, and I think there's a lot of people who are experiencing that right now, go and volunteer. go to a soup kitchen, go to like, you know, feeding the homeless. And you'll understand, like, some of these people have amazing stories, incredible stories that you can listen and hold space for. And some of those people that you meet that are serving or cooking or helping, like, are some of the most incredible, kind people. And all of a sudden, they're so inclusive. You feel like you belong, and then that raises your self-esteem, and you feel like you're contributing in some way. And it's all of a sudden you've got a purpose. Like, to give is to receive.
Yes.
Truly, to give is to receive. And I think, like, community just allows that, allows us to engage with other people and contribute in some way. And it can be, like you just said so beautifully, those ways of contributing can be telling jokes. It can be holding space. Like, have you ever got a friend who's a really wonderful listener?
Oh gosh,
And
it
you
heals you.
value them so much.
So much.
So much. And
I love your friends. You know who you are. You know who they are.
Yeah. And then equally, you've got like friends who like organize everything and like, let's catch up and let's do this. And you're like, you're amazing. I know you've got a lot of wonderful friends like that.
do.
Then you've got like some friends who are just so hilarious. Every time you catch up, you look forward to them because it's like, I know I'm going to laugh my ass off.
I get laughter withdrawals. I'm like, I need you. I haven't laughed good in ages.
And it's medicine. All of these beautiful ways that we can contribute to one another, that others can contribute to us. They're different forms of medicine.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
correct.
community is medicine. Belonging is such an essential part of truly living, not just surviving.
You're right.
Belonging.
You're right, Paddy. And you're making me even think, like, even just my friends that play music, a lot of them alone, when they're alone, they wonder, you know, they like to do it for themselves, but they wonder what's the point. Bring it to a community.
Yeah.
And you entertain 20, 30 people at a time. You're so valuable being able to play and inspire other people to join in. And so quickly you start a band. Like, music is just one medium, but any gift anyone has, it means so much more when you bring it to a group.
It does. And I find music really unique in this respect. I grew up playing a lot of sport, right? Dad was sporty. I like music as well, and I played, but sport was my main sort of form of entertainment. And so I went to a lot of sport. And when you go to a game, you know, it's like Australia playing Canada. It's like, it's us versus you, right?
Yeah.
And so that can be playful, but it can also be tense, right?
Yeah.
But you go to music, and it's everyone from every walk of life, and there's gays and straights and trans, and there's Asians, or there's Africans, or there's Europeans, or Canadians and Australians. There are men and women, there's big people and little, there's this entire group of differences, all sharing this same unified love and appreciation of someone's expression.
Yes.
Their art, something they've created within them that's so vulnerable to share, and going, hey, this means something to me, and we're all like, fuck yeah, it means something to me too. It's so beautiful.
That's amazing.
It's so beautiful.
Great way to explain it, Paddy. Dang, that really hit. That was powerful.
I'm glad.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm glad. It's cool.
No, it is.
I love it. I
is.
remember this. I went to see a band one time. I went to see, a DJ play. And I'm just like, I'm dancing, right? Like, I love feeling music. Anything that I can get out of my head and be in my body, I love.
Yep.
And I'm just dancing. I'm not a great dancer, but that doesn't stop me. I do it with enthusiasm.
I believe you.
And this lady came up, and she was wearing like plugs
Earplugs,
in her. Yeah. She came, she held my hand, and we were dancing together. And you know, it's just very like just two people dancing, just connecting, two strangers.
Yeah.
And I was asking her about this. She was saying, oh, you know, she's neurodivergent, so the noise hurts, and you know, and all of a sudden, like, you're just connecting with a stranger in the most beautiful, innocent, playful way. Yeah. It's exquisite. It's like they're the moments that I feel like everything's right in the world.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I agree. I love connecting with people out in those kinds of places. And I think what makes music, in the sense that you're speaking about, so powerful is the fact that it is a genuine, raw, vulnerable expression.
Yeah.
So look at the impact. An arena, a concert hall filled with how many people? So being vulnerable with that kind of impact only takes one group to change how many lives?
Yeah.
If you're coming from a genuine place.
Yeah.
So where are you taking everything with all this knowledge and all of your influence, all your power, Paddy? Where are you taking all this?
Where am I taking this?
What do you do for the community? How do you give back and serve and keep yourself in check?
Yeah, through conversations. So I have a podcast as well, and I think to raise awareness of the things that I've learned, to share them openly and vulnerably, not from a place of above, beside.
Yeah.
Going, hey, like, I've made every mistake one can make.
Still
I've
making
been
them.
lost.
Yeah.
You know, like I've made, like, and I've learnt some things, and those things I really want to share with the world, because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that for whatever reason, my mind has always understood, like, a truth that seemingly many forget. And that truth is that all of this materialism is fleeting, it's temporary. But our love, our impact, like the kindness that we can show other people and the ripple effect that that can have for future generations. One of the reasons why being a father means so much to me is because like that can have an impact for thousands of generations afterwards. Like, love is the most incredible force. All the heroes, like when I was growing up, it might have been Achilles and Hector. Now, like, not at all. Now I read these, now it's Jesus. Now it's Buddha. Now it's Eckhart Tolle. Now, like, I even look at like Russell Brand and the scallywag he was when he was young, and then the evolvement into the wiser man.
I love
Even there's a guy called Tucker Max, and in the noughties he wrote a book, and he was just a proper scallywag, like having sex with, you know, as many women as possible, and drinking and probably drugs, and then now he's this so much more healed man, sharing the wisdoms and insights about, hey, I got that wrong, and now I want to share with you what I understand. I think this is the evolving of wisdom, that I think this is our responsibility.
Yes.
To help others through the mistakes that we've made or the lessons that we've learned. And I think, like, being stewards of our time, of this planet. Because Marianne Williamson, you know Marianne Williamson?
One of my favorite authors. I've just recommended her book to my roommate.
Amazing.
Yes.
I went to see her talk in Brisbane about 4 months ago.
I saw her. I wanted to go.
Oh, did you?
No, I wanted to go. I didn't get to.
It was me.
Wow, Paddy.
Me and 1,500 60-year-olds with buzz cuts, 60-year-old women with buzz cuts, and me. And I'm crying, right? Like, it was so beautiful. It's the best live
incredible.
Performance I've ever seen of any medium. It was amazing.
That's incredible.
And in it, she said, like, hey, if we don't get this right, if we continue destroying each other and the earth, if we don't get this right, we might have another opportunity in 300,000 years. And it's like, I think she's right. When I zoom out and look at the world, I go, we are so fucking lost.
Yeah.
We are prioritizing profit over people and planet. Are you fucking serious? Like, excuse me.
It's crazy.
Excuse me, people.
We don't even want it. We're choosing it, but we don't even want it.
Well, I think that it comes from this wound of not being enough. I think what I described there with this masculine wound of this thing, if you're not enough, if your dad's abused you as a kid because of stuff that you didn't understand was his own mental torture, or how he was spoken to his father, never showed up for you, never created safety for you, and then you go, I'm not enough, which I think 8 billion people have got their version of.
It's true.
And if you never heal that, you search for it out there. And I think the really wounded masculine search for it by conquering other people, or by collecting things, whether it's women or cars or money or status or any form of, I'm only okay as long as this is better than everyone else.
Yeah.
searching for it in every place that you'll never find it when it's available to us within. So my heroes are the people that found it and want to share that with other people. And when I grew up Catholic, now turned away from religion, because for me it was always, hey, the kingdom of heaven is through us. You're a sinner, you're a dirty sinner, and you want to come to heaven, you got to come and repent your sins to our priests and pray in our temples and give money to our thing and pray in the prayers that we tell you to a God that's out here.
Yeah.
Who can be merciful as long as you follow all these guidelines, even though your nature suggests that you're going to sin. So I turned away from it, never connected with it, never resonated with me, never felt right.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, I had a spiritual awakening. And then I've come back to the teachings of Jesus, not the teachings of the church, the teachings of Jesus. And Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And then I look at Siddhartha Buddha or Eckhart Tolle or or Marcus Aurelius, and they're all saying the same thing. They all found the connection to source and divine within.
Yes.
And it's available to all of us. And when we find that and acknowledge it, we have the most incredible energy and enthusiasm and conscious living. And from that place, all we want to do is love and contribute, because we recognize the sameness, the oneness that is true. And I found this in psychedelics.
Yeah.
I found this in shamanism.
Yeah.
I found this in indigenous teachings. There's this beautiful term from one of our elder Australians of the years called Miriam Rose, a beautiful Aboriginal woman. She talks about in her ancestral line this word didgeridoo. It's not didgeridoo. Didgeridoo? It means deep listening.
Yes.
Deep listening to yourself, deep connection with yourself. It's like Marcus Aurelius says, no place is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul.
Wow.
So we see these great spiritual teachers saying the same thing. That's a really roundabout way of having that conversation. I love it.
No, that was all necessary. Yeah. That was really important to hear. And you've given some great examples.
Well, I think sitting with ourselves is hard. I found it really hard. It's so uncomfortable.
Why are we scared of it? I don't know why it's uncomfortable.
I think Marianne Williamson.
Yeah.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us.
Thanks for bringing that up. That's one of the most powerful things I've learned from Marianne Williamson. Even she's like, what happens if you do win? But we're going to self-sabotage ourselves from trying or giving it our best or being courageous because we're scared. Well, what if we do get the job? What if we do get the girl? What if we do get the money? What if we do get the house? Like, this is all scary.
Yes.
We're actually really scared of even good things, not just bad things, not even things going wrong, but things going right.
Yes.
What a crazy backwards thing to realize about ourselves, isn't it?
I think we are crazy. I think our minds being wired for survival. I don't think any of us, sorry, I shouldn't say that. I think it's so easy, and it's never really been taught to us on a global scale, how misaligned the way that we're living and the influence that we have on our mind are misaligned from the way that really the environment with which it allows us to thrive. And so I think within that survival, we're always looking for threats. We're always looking for what could go wrong. And so like self-talk for most people is abhorrent.
Yeah.
Abhorrent. And it's like we're sold this narrative that you find your soulmate and that one person in life completes you. And they can be the parent of the other parent, and they can be your lover and your confidant and your best friend and your travel buddy and your growth partner, and like they can be all of it. And when they're not, and they're not going to be, we're like, something must be wrong with you.
Exactly.
Maybe the next person will give me all of these things. What I've learned is no one will. We get to be that for ourselves.
Yes.
And I really mean that.
Yes.
I think our number one responsibility in this life is to be that for ourselves. And I think that when we can our presence of it helps people remember or reminds them of the power that's within them, of the blessings that they can be, of their own magnificence.
Yes.
And Marianne Williamson talks about that whole quote or poem or whatever it is, sums all of that up in the most exquisite way. What a woman. What an incredible woman.
She's amazing. I love her so much.
Such a light worker.
Yes. Thanks for bringing her up.
Oh, every day.
I do.
Mary.
She's changed my whole subconscious mind. She's changed the way I talk to myself, the way I perceive the world, the way I perceive my fears. And one of my biggest takeaways from Marianne Williamson that stuck with me since the first moment I read the book was, if it's not love, it's an illusion. Remember it. Remember it and always be aware. If it's not love, it's not real. That's such a great way to start to become more aware in your life. It's just a great start. It's a great starting point. I can't do this, or I'm not good enough for that, or they won't like me, or they're going to think I'm no good, or, this is going to be hard, this is difficult. All these thoughts that come up, that's not love. It's an illusion. How are we faking ourselves? How are we tricking ourselves? It's so important to remember. You can say, I can't go ask this person to be my friend. They'll say no. That's an illusion. Why am I telling a story?
Yeah.
Why am I narrating a story if it's not even happened yet? We don't know what they're thinking. We can't imagine what's going to happen. We've got to just go and actually live it. And it usually turns out better or completely different than how we've imagined.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got to stop telling ourselves these negative stories.
Yeah. Jim Rohn has this quote. He says, "Stand guard at the gates of your mind." I remember first listening and like the power of it, and almost immediately sort of forgot it and kept living the way that I did. And now, like 15 years after listening to it, like you can read the same thing. It's like the man that steps into the river twice. It's what
Never
does
the
he
same
say?
river.
Yeah, what's he say?
Because
there?
everything's always moving. You'll never
He says the man
meet
that
the
steps
same.
into the river again
Yeah.
isn't the same man. What's that bloody quote?
I do remember the point of it though.
He says, because it's not the same man and it's not the same river.
It's always different water, different animals, the rocks shift.
Yeah.
Like you're different when you stand in it.
Exactly.
Everything's
so we're
different.
when we reread something. And I just find that quote to be so important to embody in how much time do you really spend cultivating the thoughts that you have, questioning them? Because in my experience, I've formed beliefs when I was a child or a teenager or in my early 20s, and unless I've questioned them, they've remained true for me.
100%.
And guess what? Most of them were shit house.
Out of date.
Shit house.
A bit out of date, maybe.
Yeah. So it's like such a practice of like cleansing that. And one of the things that I think is really has a lot of negative potential is social media, because it's great because everyone's got a potential to have a voice.
Yeah.
And also everyone's got the potential to have a voice. So you're exposed to so much dysfunction in people's belief systems.
You're absolutely right.
Whereas I think surrounding ourselves with the right people, the right tribe, the right group with values that we also embody and we resonate with, or like great mentors from books, I think is just so important for us to really, have the right thoughts. It's like I read Marcus Aurelius, I read meditations, and I feel more powerful.
Yes. It's on my bedside
stepping
table.
into his mind, a man that spent his whole life dedicated to self-mastery.
Kids, Marcus Aurelius is a goat.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest of all time, for sure.
Yeah.
Go read Marcus Aurelius if you haven't.
Yeah.
No, I think that it's really important to have these higher narratives as a part of our regular consumption, especially if you're going to be on social media. Great. Definitely have to have the right kind of influences. If you're not sure who those influences are, you can look it up, or you can go off someone you trust. Or I know there's a lot of professors I really idolize. They really inspired me to some of the content, but also some of the greatest people you just know. You can just feel their greatness. You can feel their truth. You can feel that they're living in alignment. If they recommend something, take it on board. And I think it's really important as well, because once you and I know you've heard this probably, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Once you really do start to unveil the truth, you won't be fooled again. You're not going to be watching the wrong content online. You're not going to be falling for the wrong influences or persuaded by the wrong people. You're going to be on track. So I guess, how do we unveil as much of the truth as possible?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think remaining curious and remaining a seeker.
Yes.
I think it's one of the things that I've most loved about myself when I've finally been able to be kind to myself, is going, oh, geez, you made a lot of mistakes, but you kept going, you kept searching, you never gave up, even when it was really hard. Even when I was plateauing for a long time, it's like, oh, I can see now. I think writing out your story, your personal story, is such a powerful way to look at it without the recency bias of, or just the conditioning of the habitual thoughts that we think of every day.
You're so right. Even in writing out my story as well, you take away this, like, the parts and the clips that you've kept in your mind, which are usually negative. Oh, I had this hard and this was, woe is me. We love our woes. Understandable. But when you rewrite your story, you start to be like, wait a minute. Blessings. I had this opportunity and that, and this much love and this love and these opportunities in life and growing up. And if you really do face yourself, there's a lot of good in there. There's a lot of good in there.
Life's, And unless you do that process, it's very easy to not see it. You know, I think, like, the amount of good that you have in your life is directly related to your ability to see it.
Wow.
And that's true for yourself as well, particularly understanding that we all have a bias to have that survival brain, and so to, as a default, talk negatively about ourselves. You know, I think about it as, like, recently I had, about 5 weeks ago, I had been making a huge effort with my children. I'd been introducing breath work. We've been doing it every day, been really playful. Like, I was really proud of how I was showing up as a dad. Because it's hard. I got a neurodivergent kid. They're still, you know, they're young and they're dealing with the separation. And, like, it's hard for them, right?
Yeah, it would be.
And one afternoon they were feral. Absolutely feral, right? And, like, I was cool and I was calm and I was firm, and, okay, well, like, you know, you're going to have time out and I'll sit in here with you, and, like, it's okay to be frustrated. I can be here with you. I can sit with you through your frustration. And feral again, and sort of showing up, and, like, you know, I'm trying to cook dinner and I've got work to do, and, like, you know, I'm getting overwhelmed, and it happened again and again and again and again, and I went, I said, when we breathe, like, if one of them's being dysregulated and I'll ask them to breathe, it's really hard for that dysregulated child to breathe.
Of course, yeah.
So what I do is I say to the other one, I say, hey, can you see that they really need us to show up for them right now? Wow. Let's sit down and breathe for them. And we do. And over time, they feel that energy. You know, they're going to be doing whatever, and they can sit over time. It doesn't matter how long it takes, and they'll breathe and regulate, and we can all be together and be silly and be fun, right?
That's incredible, Paddy.
And I had this moment of going up, and I almost blew it. And I went, I was like, you need to help me this time.
Wow.
Like, I'm not unflappable. I need your help now, and let's breathe. And we did, and then it happened again, and I blew my top. No, I yelled, I swore, I did not show up in a way that I was proud of whatsoever. I was really beating myself up. Right? I've been a great dad all of these times. One event for 8 seconds. And in my immediate aftermath, that night and the next morning for about 4 hours, I'm treating that 8 seconds like it outdoes everything that I've ever done. This is what it feels like when we catastrophize, right?
I know.
When we're dysregulated.
It is.
And because we spoke earlier in this has been a great conversation, by the way, Bella. I really enjoyed it. because I'd done it previously, I had a pattern that I could use, right? So the Roger Bannister thing, if it's possible, then I can do it again, to go, whilst I'm beating myself up about all of this, is there a truth that I can't see whilst I'm having this talk?
Right? I love that question.
It's like, okay, most probably. Okay, well, what is that truth? Oh, well, there's two truths that became apparent to me. One of them is, I know this story. I know this shame story. I know this beating the shit out of myself and telling myself how shit I am. It's never brought out the best in me ever. Never in my life. It's always brought out the worst in me. Like, I don't show up. It's like, well, okay, well, if that's true, how do I want to show up? I want to show up with my kids the best I possibly can. Okay, what state, how resourceful can I be? What can I do to really heal this? First thing, they were with Tegan for a couple of days, and so I called her, I told her what I'd done. This is my ex-wife, who I left, and she's nothing but love and compassion for me.
Wow.
It's okay. We can all have moments like that. Thank you for telling me. I'll make sure that I'm really present with them and engaging with them and heal, right?
Great teamwork.
Amazing,
Wow.
amazing. What a woman.
Wow.
What a woman. Incredible.
She really is.
She does, and then when I get them a couple of days later, I say, repair work, Brene Brown again. And I said, look, I'm so sorry that I yelled and swore. That has nothing to do with you. That was me, I was feeling so overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do, and I'm so sorry. So full responsibility. And then play. Be playful, playing games, and we watch Danny Go. If you become a mum, I hope you do. Danny Go dance parties. Fucking life changing. Because you dance and you're copping the moves, the kids are cool and like amazing. And it's like, because of that, every day I've been so determined when I've had them to show up in the way that I'm really proud of. And I've just had the most amazing, incredible like couple of weeks. So Ciara gets home and she makes me these, right?
This, by the way, is the art wall for anyone watching.
Yes, my daughter's artwork.
Beautiful children's artwork.
You know, and only a few days after, she draws me that.
Oh my God.
I love you, Dad, and us on the swing in a love heart. And she writes me this, Dad, you shine like a shooting star. I can't wait to see you, Dad. I can't wait to see how Queensland wins with you, State of Origin. You mean so much to me, Dad. And it's like...
That's incredible.
You know, like it took me like more than 30 years to stop a pattern of negative self-talk when I showed up in a way that I wasn't proud of.
And that's, I think that's the difference between having the tools and not, or having the support and not, because that it does just take one moment like that, or losing it one time, and it can really derail and undo a lot of the progress people are making in their lives, or how they're showing up for themselves even.
Totally.
How hard is it to start with integrity at home, within yourself? How hard is it to tell yourself you're going to go to the gym and then not? How hard is it to tell yourself you're going to do better and then not? Or you're going to go out and then you don't? If you don't have people holding you accountable, how hard can it be to undo yourself or to start to blame yourself? In case anyone wants to see this before, it is quite
You know,
beautiful.
it's just like to just showcase like how repair can happen. And
it's a powerful story, Paddy, because I know that that's just your experience, but the truth is a lot of families unfortunately aren't connecting with their kids in that way. That's not a reality for a lot of parents that maybe are still looking for better ways to connect. Like, I think your story is really powerful, and I think that utilizing resources like Brene Brown, she's incredible, and repair work.
She's absolutely amazing.
Not often do I hear families talking about repair work or actually apologizing properly. Or how many people do you know, even in our age group, how many of our peers really know actually know how to apologize properly or repair within friendships?
Or
how many people do we date and then move on if we can't repair? It's like repair is hard for us.
Or something happens and then everything is wiped from that, and that one piece of pain is representative of that relationship.
Yeah, and then we gotta let it go. So many friendships ending. So many relationships ending.
And beautiful. And I think, you know, for Tegan and I look at it like this. We have I feel so blessed to have the relationship that I have. I learn so much from her. we co-parent well. Like, she's such a gift. Not just she was such a gift, like she is such an incredible gift to me and to the two people that I love the most in the world, my children, right? And I think, like, I have so many friends that divorced and they talk really poorly about their ex. And I'm like, don't. Unless you've done everything possible in every moment, you showed up absolutely immaculately always, start with yourself. You can control that.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to hear you speaking shit about your ex-wife. That is the mother of your children, and she's deserving of respect. And I think, where was I going to go with that? I think about this in terms of relationships. It's like most people, most of their relationships really lovely.
They are.
But the ending can be really hard. There's big emotions. It's easier to blame that other person. I think it's instinctual to protect ourselves with all of the overwhelm of big emotions.
Totally.
And so we can project and we can blame and we can point the finger. But most of the relationship was love and growth, and even like the hard part. When I did a podcast with Tegan last week, and it's like I wrote a monologue to read, and it's like relationships that bring out the worst in us as well as the best in us isn't a failure of love. It's love doing its most sacred work. Like, we hold up mirrors for one another to show us where we're not free.
Yeah.
Our triggers have nothing to do with that other person. It's just the vessel that holds the mirror to show us that it's there. It was a beautiful line from it about, they don't bring the wound, they shine light on the wound that's already there.
You're right.
You know? And I think when we can look at it like that, most people dismiss all of the love and hold on to the pain and the resentment and the hurt.
Well, that's like we were saying earlier. Even when you narrate your story, your own story, we remember all the pain, the hurt. That's easiest to remember. That's what our ego and protective self is trying to make sure it doesn't repeat. We're trying to focus on the fear, on the lion, so that we don't accidentally, forget to protect ourselves from the predators. But I think it's also really important to. You've reminded me of another thing that really helped me in my journey as well, is people taught me that when you're speaking poorly about other people, that's not a judgment on them, it's a judgment on you. Because you're actually speaking to the discomfort that's coming up in you about what you're experiencing or what you're observing from someone else that you haven't accepted or embodied within yourself. So if something really irritates you about someone and you're saying that, that's your first sign to look at yourself. If you're saying, oh, they're always, yelling, have a look at what that says about you. Maybe the answers are all there and it's not to do with the other person at all. And that really changed the way I showed up and learned for myself, because if I ever had anything to say about anyone anymore, I would bite my tongue immediately. I'm like, that's my message. It's not to share with people. That's not to speak out loud. And it kind of felt revealing as well after I learned that lesson.
That's so cool.
Because I'm like, do I want to speak out loud about what ugliness is going on in me? I'm like, let me have a look at it first.
Yeah.
Let me check it out first.
What a fantastic moment to pause.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's
like,
really
hey, that
beautiful.
person, I don't allow myself to speak out. That person speaking confidently, I was going to judge them because I don't allow myself to speak out.
Yeah.
I think it's unacceptable to speak out. I think it looks arrogant, so I'm not allowed to do it. But I want to. There's an example.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that.
That person isn't a size 6. Look at them. I'm scared of looking different. I'm scared that I'm not allowed to eat what I want to eat. I'm scared that I'm not allowed to gain weight. I'm not allowed. I'm scared I won't get love, or I won't be accepted if I don't follow a strict regimen or restrictive eating practices. That's another example. You have to start looking, why am I so scared of this? Why am I so reactive to this? It's our message.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember my first coach saying to me, he's like, anytime we point, like there's three fingers facing, pointing back at us.
That's so good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favourite compliments to give is at the gym. Like, it's easy for me to go to the gym to swing weights around, but I love seeing people come when they've been going in a pretty ordinary direction for a long time, and they might have put on a heap of weight, and then they finally reach a point in their life of going, nah, I'm going to show up for me.
Yeah.
And they come into the gym, and the courage it must take to walk in overweight or like really thin if they've had some eating disorders.
Yeah.
The courage to come and to do something about it. I always make it a point to go up and be like, mate, love to see you in here. It's awesome.
That's really
work.
great.
Well,
There's that complimenting again.
Because
Yeah.
it's true.
Exactly.
It takes
It's
me
genuine.
nothing to go to the gym.
It's genuine.
It's like, you think about that for a moment, like what it would take them, what thoughts they have about being judged or being perceived or what other people might think.
Bingo.
Dude, you're fucking awesome.
That's so great
Good
about
on
you, Paddy. Good on you for seeing through people like that. That's a beautiful gift. To not just see. I think that's really important for all of us to develop is that knowing or that awareness. If we can overcome our own battles, we'll really be able to see what other people are really battling as well.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, when we've met ourselves, I think like, yeah. I think we can only meet people to the depth of which we've met ourselves.
100%.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And when you have really met yourself, and I always say to myself, I know all my own light and darkness.
Heck yeah.
So who am I to judge anyone else? Like,
No one.
I know all the bad
That's
stuff,
right.
you know?
That's right.
So, and it's so liberating to go, everyone's doing their best. I know, like, when I was doing my best, when I was trying my best, when I was completely out of order, like I remember all of this stuff, not with judgment. It gives me more compassion for others.
I agree. How humbling was it the first time you recognized that your blind spots had you thinking you were doing pretty good finally. You're a good person. You show up. And then that first lesson where you start to inquire about yourself or look into yourself or look at why things in life aren't going your way. And you realize, there you are, right in the way of your own self. You're like, oh no, I'm so embarrassed. I was preaching, being like, do better people, and look at me.
So humbling.
It's humbling. But then there's that's the unveiling. You'll come across it again and again and again, but can't judge anyone ever again. If they could do better, they would.
I remember distinctly in the most dysregulated period of my life when it was like a complete, there'll be a psychological term for it, but it was like I was completely disassociated.
Yeah.
It's like I was reacting my behaviour didn't reflect at all how I was trying or wanting to show up.
Yes, 100%.
And I remember my sister coming over, and I was a shithead to her. I don't remember how, but I remember her going like, that was awful or something. I remember at the front door and just going, I'm so sorry. I'm not meaning to be. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to. And she was nothing but compassionate to me in a moment where she didn't need to. Gave me a big hug, and it's like, when you're in a moment where you're really doing it tough and your behaviour isn't anywhere remotely, it's like the parts of us that most need love are the parts that are hardest to love. And when other people are showing up and they're hardest to love, it's when they most need it.
Yes.
It's such an interesting paradox. It's that I fully believe, and I've experienced and seen, that hurt people.
Yes.
But at our core is love. At our core is a truth and an awareness that we are one. Like, we are all in this together, and we are all the same. All of us. We all have fear. We all want to be loved. Like, we all have these same experiences, these same emotions, this same cowardice and potential for courage, and knowing yourself and feeling where you've shown up and when you haven't, and the whole tapestry, I just think allows this incredible compassion and understanding and genuine like love for humanity and each other.
Yes, I think you're right. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I think we've given people a lot of great content to digest. So I'll ask you one more thing, and then we'll wrap it up.
Cool.
But if you could have, I know you have your own podcast and your own voice, and that's incredibly powerful, and thank you for the work you do.
Thank you.
But if there was one thing you could say to my audience, with the focus being in regards to community and how one story can inspire thousands of communities, what would you say?
Yeah. Firstly, it's to tell them, to tell you that you matter, that your life has far more potential and purpose than you might believe at times, particularly if you've been running in thought patterns that I was, or that we spoke about today that are negative, that they're illusions. And that love and your capacity to love and your capacity to be kind and your capacity to have compassion for other people, your capacity to choose courage and to lead with example and to be inclusive, all lies within you. And I truly believe that our greatest responsibility is to have radical self-acceptance and self-love. And in my experience, that's a practice. It's still a practice for me. It's a practice that I try and do every day to the best of my ability. And I believe that when enough of us can embody that, and especially love the shadow work, like especially give love and forgiveness and compassion to the parts of you that didn't show up in the ways that you wanted to. When you can do that, you can alter the course of humanity. Your presence, your ability to love yourself despite possibly years or decades of negative self-talk cannot not have an influence. For every relationship, for every moment of connection or potential connection with another person, friend or foe. You know, one of our greatest teachers, Jesus, like nailed to a cross. And some of his final words are, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And it's not, you don't need to be Shaquille O'Neal, you don't need to be 7'2", you don't need to have an IQ of 200. You and you and you all have that same capacity to love,
Exactly.
to show up for other people. And I think like that can be our greatest gift. I pray, every day I pray that this is the work of our generation, that we can be the ones to change humanity's course from fear, guilt and shame into forgiveness and love. Because it's just a choice. It's just an awareness. They have the potential, we have the potential. And I think through having conversations like this and within their families and within their relationships and work colleagues or within the new groups that they're going to create, you know, we can all be inspired from one another.
Yes.
Yeah, you're more capable than you can possibly imagine, more magnificent, more worthy. And any part of you that's ever doubted that for a moment, just recognize that that doesn't serve you, that it's not true. It's an illusion. And I love you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, baby.
Thank you so much, Paddy. You're incredible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love this conversation.
I know. That was so beautiful. We could keep talking forever,
I could
I
talk
reckon,
to
but
you.
it's already
I
been
could talk
89
to you
minutes.
forever.